Now, the Morning Majority with Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, and Brian Neiman on 630. WMAL.
7:37 on WMAL. Good Wednesday morning. Congressman Scott Rigell joins us now from Virginia's 2nd District, Republican, who voted no on the raising of the debt ceiling yesterday. Congressman, how are you?
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Well, we're doing pretty good. We're pretty excited. You voted no, as I think every Republican did yesterday. But you want spending cuts attached to this. Can we get into
certainly.
Can we get into specifics? I mean, how much do you want?
Well, listen, I'm a first-time elected official, a businessman who sought this office because our country is hemorrhaging, cash, and I'm just so concerned about it. So here's where I'm at on this. I'm a member of the Republican Study Committee. It's a good group of I think conservatives within the Republican Party, and I co-signed a letter that just outlines three. They're not conditions, but these are circumstances under which we would be willing to increase the debt limit. And discretionary spending would be cut significantly, in the range of half. Spending reductions to cut the deficit in half, and then a cap on spending as a percent of GDP, and then a balanced budget amendment. I know it's a tall order, but that's where we're starting from.
Half the deficit cut in half by how long? I mean, how many years are we talking about for that?
Well, I mean, just the deficit, we'd like to have it actually in the next year. I mean, I know that's a bold statement, but I don't think most folks, Brian, truly appreciate the risk that it all pivots on this. How do you assess the risk that we're taking on by not addressing this in a bold and wise way? And I see the threat as more imminent, and I see it as is really threatening the foundation of our country. That's why I carry this stronger view.
And Congressman, what is the scuttlebutt on the Hill? The House Republicans are meeting with the president today. What are they anticipating? What are they hoping for?
Well, I'm hoping. Actually, I get the privilege. I think all of our colleagues have been invited, which I appreciate that. I think speaking with each other is a good thing, and I know the leadership has been there many times, but this will be the first opportunity for me and my colleagues to go over in more of a substantive way. And I'm looking for the president to lead, which in my view, he has not done so. You got to have a plan. Some folks criticize the path to prosperity. Well, I come from a private sector. Where's your plan? And I hope the president will come out with something definitive for us to respond to.
Congressman Brian Wilson here. I was looking at your Twitter account just a moment ago, since that's been so much in the news of late. I see that you have tweeted 1,120 times. I see that you have 4,866 followers.
Right.
You actually follow more people than follow you. That's interesting. I haven't seen that before. So here's my question. Have you ever had your Twitter account hacked?
No, never. But, I have empathy for Congressman Wiener. I think it could happen. I don't it's a serious matter. I'm sorry that he's gone through that, and I trust that those who hacked his account will be held accountable.
Well, do you believe that he was actually hacked?
Well, listen, I was raised to believe that unless and until I get evidence to the contrary, I would believe him. I sure would.
Let me just follow up on one thing, because do you tweet off of your congressional BlackBerry or congressional phone?
I use an iPad.
Okay.
And,
is that given to you by the Congress?
No.
Is this a personal iPad?
No, that's personal, and I make sure that it has that lockout feature to where if I left it somewhere, it would be locked out in, I think, 30 minutes, because I am very concerned about that. That could be just a terrible thing to go through, and it could happen.
But do you do official business on that iPad, or is it just for things like this?
Well, I mean, all kinds of things. I start out with the Wall Street Journal and the local newspaper online. That
you
kind
read
of thing.
in like a lot of people.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I guess the thing I'm trying to get at is if people on Capitol Hill are using their company BlackBerry in effect for tweeting.
Right.
Well, if that's the case and this guy got hacked, wouldn't the sergeant of arms have an interest in this?
I would think so.
Well, that's sort of my question. Why isn't that question being asked? I wonder.
Well, I think the congressman has hired an attorney, and there very well could be some discussions taking place with the Capitol Police and others that would have an interest in this. And new media is an essential part now. I've just embraced it. I said, look, it's like a tidal wave. You can either get taken over by it, or you can kind of get your longboard out and ride it. And that's what I'm going to be. We've been trying to do, and. So I think you have to be careful with it, but it can't prevent you from using that very powerful tool to communicate with the American people.
Hey, do you support the mission that's going on right now in Libya? And does Congress need to get involved and say, hey, we need to be here, and here's why?
No, I absolutely don't. In fact, I introduced a bill. It's a very simple bill. It's one sentence. It said, none of these funds shall be used to fund Operation Odyssey Dawn. And it's not specific just to President Obama. It precedes my concern about the encroachment of the executive branch on Congress. Really well precedes President Obama. But when we've got, as they now refer to it as kinetic operations, it used to be called combat, but kinetic operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, and here we've opened up a new front. There was no threat to American lives and America proper itself, our homeland, and the president had time to go to the United Nations, but didn't have time to come to Congress. There's just a host of reasons. Not one provision of the War Powers Act was triggered by the action that was being taken there, and I don't support it.
All right. Before we let you go, there was obviously a tragic bus accident near Richmond yesterday, and 4 people were killed. A lot of people were injured. Charges have been pressed against the driver of the bus, but there are people who are saying, this shows that we need more regulation on the roads, especially for commercial buses. Is it too early to say that, in your opinion?
I think so. We've, and our hearts go out to those who lost their lives, the families, and I don't diminish in any way the loss that they're going through. Now, having said that, I truly believe that when you try to mitigate all risk, if you try to, like the commercial space programs, I serve on science, space, and technology, and I'm really concerned about NASA just putting the screws down. I'm delighted we got a safe landing this morning, but let these good men and women explore the heavens. As long as they can keep the civilian population safe, give them some running room. We have to have this sense of entrepreneurship and not trying to have government just protect every aspect of our lives. And so there's too much regulation coming out of Washington, regardless of what the president's been stating lately.
All right, Congressman, good to have you on. We'll be following you on Twitter, okay?
Yes,
there you go. Carefully,
we'll tweet later. We'll exchange tweets. Just between you and me.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about you, I don't think. All right, see you later. Scott Rigell, a Republican from Virginia Beach area here on WMAL.